Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we're going to talk about a star we've never talked about because why the fuck would we? Jon Bon Jovi. He's from the 80s. The 1980s, not the 1880s. I know, what they seem equally far away. Who the hell knows? He's like an old school rock star. You know who he is, okay? If you're Gen Z and you're like, I don't. He was in a band. He was the lead singer of a band called Bon Jovi, which at the time you're like, yeah, Bon Jovi, that's the name of a band. Like, it was his last name. I think that's weird. Like, come up with a different name. Not like your last name, which, by the way, isn't even how his last name is spelled. It's Bon Jovi. It's like it's spelled all Italian. I know that because I have hung out with his dad. We'll get into all of it because his family is like adorable. But Jon Bon Jovi, it's like if you're going to change your name, why not change it all the way to be like Fairchild or something cool? Like if you're going to change it from the Italian, you just like Americanized it, but it's still like a weird fucking name for a band. I have a lot of feelings on this, but not as many as I have on our subject today, body count. Because Bon Jovi he's got some documentary out on Hulu. It's the Who's Who of Nobody Cares. And he's talking about the wild and woolly days of being a rock star. And he said something in an interview that stood out to me. So Bon Jovi, he's been married to his wife since like the 80s or like mid 90s, like a billion years, right? Dorothea Bon Jovi, like she's gonna beat you with the rolling pin. Ah, basta così. Che cosa fai? Okay. They've been together forever, and they're one of these rare couples, kind of like a Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell, that you're like, damn, how did they do it? Well, according to Jon Bon Jovi, he was not great. And did they do it? Okay, so he said he was not a saint. And he basically said he got away with murder, like during his marriage. And he said, I'm not saying, joking, he's like, not saying there weren't 100 girls in his life at the time, like in the 80s. I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint. I'm Jon Bon Jovi. That was pretty good. But if you think I was ever going to jeopardize anything for believing the narcissist in me was real, what a stupid thing to do. What kind of excesses does a man need that's going to fuel that fire? It's just not worth it. And then he went on to praise his wife and saying she's not afraid to call me out on things. Maybe I don't speak boomer, but it kind of sounds like he was fucking 100 girls, and that's how many he slept with in his life. And then he goes on to say, but I'm not going to jeopardize my marriage. Did you not fuck 100 girls? And she's not afraid to call me out on things. Do you need to be called out on the fact that sleeping with 100 women is probably disadvantageous to maintaining a marriage? Boomers get to run the world. Is he a boomer? He's 61. Does that count? Tomato, tomato. Old people. Let's talk about body count. Because this is something that I know all of us have been asked. And what is the right answer here? Do we owe people the truth? Do they even want the truth when they ask you for your body count? And if they don't want the truth, what do they want? Why are guys asking this? I am going to tell you why. Well, honestly, I'm just kind of a monster and I don't really believe in truth telling all the time anyway. But I especially do not believe in truth telling in this particular category. Because listen, if you want to ruin your relationship with a man, telling him your body count is 100% the absolute fastest way to get there. Okay? And actually, maybe that's a good hack. If you're trying to get a dude off your back, be like, oh yeah, I would love to sleep with you. You'd be number 101. And I'm just like so psyched to be in the triple digits. He will never speak to you again. I promise. But before we get started talking about all things bodies, let's talk about what we put on our bodies. This is my new look from Exo Style Box. Yes, my clothing rental subscription service. It's spring. We want to upgrade our wardrobe, but we're looking at our credit card bills maybe from the winter and Christmas, and we're like, no. So look, why buy clothes when really you wear them like once or twice, you take a picture for Instagram, you don't really want to wear it again, you wear it to a party, it just hangs in your closet. Why are we doing this? If you want to be sustainable and fashionable, join my clothing rental subscription. Join Exo Style Box. You get your first month free. You can swap out styles as many times as you want, which is not the way Rent the Runway or Nuuly works and will ever work, but it's how my platform works. This little number is from there. I love this dress. I will tell you, it's kind of for bustier girls. There's a lot of room here, and I feel like it's gonna fall off and you're gonna see my business at some point during the video. But that's the thing. We've got looks for every body type. And you know, it's a great way to experiment. I order clothes all the time that I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I would wear this to a brunch. Do I wanna be buried in it? No, probably not. With Exo Style Box, you don't have to. So click down below, sign up. Like I said, your first month is free. Keep styles as long as you want, send some back, get more. It's pretty easy breezy. And isn't spring and summer fashion all about those two things? Okay, let's keep talking about Jon Bon Jovi. Or like, let's not, who cares? You know, when we talk about body counts, we think about things like morals and whatever. I have a theory, and it is a depressing one. People are really only as faithful as their options. If a man is able to get, I don't know, 20 blowjobs in a night, will he turn them down? Maybe eventually, but only after he's done a whole lot of investigation about why he wouldn't want 20 blowjobs in a night. He's gonna get 20 blowjobs a night, girl. He's going to, okay? Why not? Why not? If you can have an orgy 2-3 times in a weekend, yes. Remember that when Bon Jovi came out, it was the golden age of cocaine. Like, everyone was on coke. And so I'm always kind of impressed that these rockers who were just like drugged, like stuffed to the gills with drugs and pills, that they could even get it up. Like, slow clap for Tommy Lee, slow clap for Bret Michaels and Bon Jovi. And you know, that's why guys become rock stars. That's why people become pro athletes and celebrities. And we always have to remember this because we hear about these people cheating, Tristan Thompson and whatever. And it's like, oh, they cheated? That's literally part of the benefit package of that lifestyle. It is. It is. And I sometimes kick myself that my audience is girls because I would love to just have a billion guys in my DMs. And boys that I date, they're always like, the guys are always in your DMs. They're gay. They are gay men. But there are technically males in my DM. You really ain't got to worry. So can we expect anything different from people of that level? No. But like I said, who really cares? Let's talk body count. Yeah, this is a question that I feel like is just becoming normal to ask, and we need to denormalize this. We need to not normalize this. The only reason it's becoming normal for a guy to be like, what's your body count, is because women are answering. Because women are answering. You know what's not normal? For a guy to be like, can I see your pap smear results? Excuse me? You get a slap in the face. You would get your number blocked because it's weird. So guess what guys don't ask? People also don't ask, hey, can I see your credit card number? Because that's inappropriate. It's not just inappropriate. A credit card has a value. Hey, can I take your car for 5 days? Can I have keys to your parents' house? We say no to these things. Why? Because we understand that that car, that house, that bank account has a value. It has a dollar value. And it also has an emotional value. That's why my parents, like, you're not getting a key. Like, I don't know. I don't fucking know you. No, no. And yet, with our sexual history and with our bodies, no value, right? We're not taught that that has value. It has value as a commodity that we can sell to men, our chastity and our purity. But does our body have an inherent value? Are we allowed to value our body and our sexual history just for us? No, we're not. Oh, see, I told you, my business. We're not allowed to do that. Our body can exist because it belongs to others. It can be used by others and they can decide what the value is. We don't get to decide that. And if we do get to decide it, the only way it's acceptable to decide that our body has value is if it is pure and chaste. If we decide that our body has a value and we want to be on OnlyFans, no. That's not acceptable. Yeah, we have value. I want to get a train run on me this weekend. No. Oh, you want to wait for marriage? We love that for you. Now listen, I'm not making a case for or against either one of those things. I have my opinions. I don't think you're ultimately going to be happy getting trains and being on OnlyFans. You also might not be happy waiting until marriage. That's not what we're here to talk about. My point is, if someone asks for our credit card information, keys to our car, we say no because we understand what that means to us. We understand that they haven't earned a right to access that. They haven't worked for that. That doesn't belong to them. And yet, we on some level, if we're answering the question of what's your body count, what's your number, we are saying, oh, my value belongs to you. I don't belong to me. That information doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you because I feel like I have to tell you. Guess what? You don't. And if you want to ruin your relationship with a man, you will answer that question, and you'll answer it honestly, okay? And you might be thinking, well, Shallon, you're clearly just talking about girls who are kind of sluts because I'm proud of my body count. It's only 2, it's only 4, it's only whatever. Sweetheart, that's the wrong answer too. You know why? Because there is no right answer to that question. There's no right answer. And that's why it's a fucking trap. And that's why when a guy asks us about body count, it actually isn't about how many people. It's not about her sexual health. It's not about that. Don't listen. That is baloney. That's baloney. What it is about is contrast. Contrast, yes. When a man asks you about body count, what he's trying to do is gauge your experience, obviously. Why? Why? Because he wants to know if you rank above or below him. Because a man, part of his identity is his sexual prowess. You know, if we think about what men are hardwired to do, like sex and spreading their seed and mating and whatever. Studies show that when it comes to sex, women, we stress about our body, and a man will stress about his performance. His performance. I know, like it's a Cirque du Soleil, like we're at Absinthe in Vegas or whatever. No, we don't think of it really that way, but they do, okay? And so they want to know, how many other performances have you seen? If you've never seen a play in your entire life or watched TV in your entire life, you go to a junior high production of Bye Bye Birdie and you're like, what? If you're a Broadway theater critic, you're like, trash. No, Mackenzie, you're never gonna make it. You have a completely different metric. And a man wants to know, are you a Broadway critic or did you just hatch out of a pod in the ground? He wants to know, how badly is he going to be judged? To what standard will you hold him? Now, I'm not saying you need to dump someone if they ask you this, because I do feel like men are conditioned to ask this, because his friends might be like, bro, she's so hot. What's her body count though? I bet she's like double digits, triple digits, whatever. Like he might be getting pressure from his people the way, I'm trying to think of like what's sort of analogous. Maybe when women are like, how much money does he make? So here's what I say when guys ask me my body count. And let me be honest, you guys know I typically date younger guys. And younger guys are concerned about body count because I'm older. And this is what they love and hate about older women. We're more experienced sexually. We're more confident in bed. We're gonna have slept with more people. Like, it would be weird if I have slept with the same amount of people a 22 or 23-year-old would. Like, that's weird. I've been married, for God's sakes. Like, okay. I had a guy one time ask me how many times I had had sex. Times. I'm like, what am I, carving a notch in my bedpost like I'm in prison? Counting days? Like, 1 billion? I don't know. I was married. Like, it was such a weird question. And he was young. He was way young. And like that was a normal question for people his age. It is not normal for me. And here's why I don't want you to normalize it no matter what age you are. It's not appropriate. So here's what I say to men when they ask me my body count. First thing I do is I throw it right back at them. Why are you asking? What a strange question. I shame them and I gaslight them. Okay. I'm great at both. I'm like, no, I mean, I just want to know. Why do you want to know? Do you routinely ask questions and you don't know why you're asking them? That's weird. Well, no, I mean, I know why I'm asking. Why? You know, I just want to know if you've like been with a lot of guys. Why? I act like this is the weirdest question a man can ask me. Why do you want to know that? Because we talk a lot about narcissists around here. What is a narcissist? Now, we think on the surface, oh, it's someone who feels really good about themselves. No, it actually isn't. Clinically, a narcissist is someone who is very unstable inside. And so they need to get their their ego propped up by people around them, which is why if you're dating a narcissist, they love bomb you because you adore them in return. And they're like, and then if you do one thing wrong, you have one bad day, they're like, and they ghost. It's because you're no longer perfect and they cannot get their ego fed like tangentially by you. They can't bask in your glow. You're of no use to them anymore. And how this relates to a body count question is the narcissist man will need to know that you're perfect so that he can feel perfect by extension. Does that make sense? And again, how this relates is the way you deal with a narcissist outside of the body count question, outside of anything, like a friend who's like chirping you or trying to tear you down. The way you respond to a narcissist is you say, where are you going with this? Well, no, I mean, I'm just asking. Why are you asking? Where are you going with this, Lauren? You throw it back to them and they reveal themselves as just trying to like be a hater or just try to like find a hole in this cool thing that you're doing so they can tear you down. Why are you asking? They don't have a response and they will spin out and you will watch them self-destruct, okay? And so if you are potentially dating a narcissist, this is a great way to find out. You blow it back to them. Why are you asking me, Chad? What is this? This is a weird question because no man is going to be upfront like, hey, I don't really feel great about my sexual performance and I need to know that you have not slept with enough people that you can tell I'm bad in bed. I need to know that you've only maybe seen 1 or 2 penises so that mine probably looks great because it's a third of the data. If it's a 10th of the data, 1/15 of the data, I don't know how I'm going to stack up. Men aren't going to say this. Insecure people are not going to shine a light on those insecurities. They are instead going to gaslight you and try to box you in and make you feel like the crazy one for not wanting to participate in this ridiculousness. That doesn't work too well on me. And it never really has. I have always seen this as such an insulting question. Such an insulting question. So if I feel like going hard, I'm like, answer the question, answer the question. Like suddenly I'm grilling them. They thought they were coming in hot as the district attorney. No. I am suddenly flipping the script and they're like, And I say, do you want to maybe retract this question? Because I don't think this is working out the way you thought it was going to. Okay. If you want to go a little softer, here's another thing that I say. I say, have you ever been to a concert? Yeah. Okay. What if I told you that band you love, that song you're listening to, they've played it before. I know. They've played it a lot. And you know what? They will play that song for people who aren't just you. And they practice playing it. They practice playing it so that when they get up on stage, they are good at playing it. Do you see where I'm going with this? Most times they don't. Where we're going with this, sex is like anything else. You have to practice to be good at it. Like playing the oboe or shaving a cat. It is not something that you are just automatically born good at. You can have an aptitude. That's talent. Skill is developed, whether that's basketball or music or sex. And typically guys will ask me this after we've already hooked up, so they know the skill set. So I point out that you like the music, okay? You're here at the concert clapping for this performance. You need to not ask too many questions about how I developed this skill set. Just enjoy the outcome. Don't focus on how the sausage is made. You're just going to break your own heart and you're going to irritate me. Sex is like anything else. You have to practice to be good at it. And in what other category are you discouraged from practice? Wow, babe, this chicken's amazing. Oh, thanks, it's an old recipe. What the fuck do you mean? Blah, 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 blah. You've cooked this before? Wow, that sounds great. Thanks, I've really been practicing. Slut. You what? It's because there aren't moralities applied to chicken and flutes. Only to our bodies. And that's the thing, only to our bodies, not to a man's body. Bullshit. I don't abide that. If someone reacted that way about chicken or my flute playing, they would be out of my life forever. And it is 0% difference reacting to my sexual history. And here's the comeback a man is gonna have, a shitty man. Wow, kind of seems like you've been with a lot of dudes. You know what I say? And it really seems like you haven't been with a lot of girls. I mean, It just seems like you're really inexperienced dealing with women, like at all, like sexually, conversationally. Like, I know you said you've dated other people, but honestly, right now, I'm just really embarrassed because I'm just having a really hard time believing that. It's actually normal to have sex, you know, like that's a normal thing, and I don't feel shame about it. And it's weird that this is like such a big part of your identity. It kind of tells me you're probably really insecure about it. And I don't, honestly, like, I don't want to know why you're insecure about it. I really just kind of don't want to know. I think this conversation's over. That man will never ask a woman her body count ever again. Ever again. And soon, this particular breed of fuckboy will be rendered extinct. We can crush them one by one. One by one. If we give people license to interrogate us about our bodies, where does it end? You know, I'm a body autonomy absolutist. No to the fucking COVID shot, no to fucking abortion restrictions, and no to grilling me about how many people I've been with. And it always seems to come back that, like, yeah, men are like, well, I guess we know the answer there. It's really high. And I guess that tells me you don't feel like you can compete. The guy I'm dating now, we've had a conversation about this in just like the broadest possible strokes. And we were talking about people how many people we've slept with. And I said something like 100 people. I was like, I haven't slept with 100 people. He's like, I really don't care if you have. I'm like, that, you are lying. He's like, I'm really not. He's like, and you know what he said? You have to practice to be good at anything. He's like, I am very secure in who I am as a man. I'm very secure in the sex that we have. I don't really need to know, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't, it doesn't matter to me. Like, we're adults. We've had pasts. Like, we've had fun times and wild nights, like, whatever. And you know, because of that, I don't care how many people he slept with. I actually hope it's a lot. Because I'm like, yeah, daddy, you can seduce that many girls. You've practiced that much. And by the time he got to me, it showed. I don't feel guilt or shame that so many people do. But the way most people feel guilt, it just seems incredibly oppressive. I mean, I don't even know how you guys deal with it. Like, religious guilt and shame over your body, that's just not, these just aren't emotions that I feel. And so therefore, I think younger guys, well, all guys, not every guy in the world, but guys like to be with me because I am very accepting. I'm not like, oh, you like that, because I don't feel that way about my body. I'm like, cool, whatever works. Like, I don't care how many people you've been with. I don't care if you want to try this thing in bed. I can't promise I'm going to be into it and want to do it, but I'm not going to judge you for it because that's not part of my emotional makeup. It's just, those emotions aren't there, you know? And therefore, when people try to run that shame game on me, I see it so clearly, and I'm like, absolutely not. Do you have any idea who you're talking to right now? You could not have picked a worse audience to run this game on. Like, and I really just hate the fact that we would have to explain away decisions or explain decisions at all in order to stay with the person that we're with. When again, you like the outcome, right? You like my BJ skills, you like my confidence in bed. Where do you think that came from? If you are dealing with a man who thinks you need to have like hatched out of the ground like a baby bird, well, they don't hatch out of the ground, you know what I mean? This is like your first day on planet Earth, but somehow you're the most like sexual, like good in bed and you're good at all these things that are not innate. It's not an innate skill to give a blowjob. Try it, dude. Try it. It's not an innate skill to have a G-spot orgasm. You have to have a lot of sex to really get that going. And to be multiply orgasmic, that doesn't come easy for a lot of women. I mean, any kind of orgasm. So it's like, don't look at the outcome and then be like, how did we get here? Shut up. Shut up. And so I will say, girl, you actually do not have the right to judge a man's body count either. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, you might be saying, it's not that I care that he's had sex with a bunch of girls. I wonder if he's a fuckboy. You know, I'm trying to figure out, is he just using me for sex? You need to develop other detection skills. okay? Rather than grilling someone about their history that is, quite frankly, none of your business. It's none of your business. And we've talked about this in the Shallontrage. Like, one girl was saying this. She's like, he's slept with 3 girls or 5, whatever it was, 5 girls, 10 girls, and I've only been with 2, and I just find this so inappropriate. And we were all like, you need to sit down. Like, that's not okay. You do not get to shame him for that. He is devoted to you, and he was like her devoted boyfriend. I'm like, this is not your history. And too much of the time we deal with men, and when we tell them something about our history, they seem to take it like we are giving them a paper to grade. Where's my red pen? Let me mark this up. I'll never forget a guy I dated a few years ago. He was younger. He was like 23, like obviously. And we were, having one of those like sexy nights and like talking about things that we've done. And he's like, have you ever had a threesome? I'm like, yeah, I have. And I've had a threesome with like 2 girls. I told you I'm a party lesbian. And he was like, wow, like that's so hot. And like we were talking about it. And the next day, he's like, I was thinking about that, how you told me about your threesomes. I don't like that. I lost it. I was like, who the hell asked you? He was like, huh? I said, why did you think I wanted your opinion on this? I don't. You're inexperienced and insecure, and you have zero business passing judgment on me when, by the way, you like my sexual skills. Don't you ever talk about my past that way. Don't you ever pass judgment on who I am before I met you. Ever. He flattened against the wall, as he should have. And that is exactly, I'm sorry, that's exactly how hard you should come back against things like that. And listen, girl, if you're passing judgment on people, that's how hard they should come against you. That's how hard they should come against you. If you are worried a man is a fuckboy, believe me, there are tells beyond how many girls he's been with. And also, he's probably not telling you the truth. Guys tend to exaggerate. I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but there is no right answer for either sex. If you're dealing with a guy and he's like, I've been with 2 girls, I would be like, what? Like, I would not want to date that man. I'd be like, you don't know how to handle me, okay? I'm a Formula 1 race car sexually, and you're like in a Kia Rio. So go on back to your hatchback. You're not ready for this, okay? You're on the Monaco Grand Prix right now. You're going to crash me. And if they're like 500 girls, I'm like, okay, well, clearly you're not too picky about who you're with. That is making me look a bit different at you. Like, do you have standards? And guys might say this because they think it's cool to say either extreme. It's like, that's why there is no right answer to this question. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. But here is the gentlest possible way to respond to this. If you don't want to just hammer someone over the head like I like to do, you could say, you know what? I don't think that that's a conversation we could have. And you can say, oh, it's because she's been with a lot of girls. Actually, babe, it's because I respect you. And I really like who you are. I really respect your skills in bed. And more than anything, I respect your history. I'm not here to pass judgment on what you've done in the past because that belongs to you. And everything that you have done or been through or whatever has created this man that I see before me, who I really like. I don't need to know what went into that. I don't care about the past. I don't want to hear about your exes. And I don't think it's appropriate to hear about mine. I'm interested in the present and the future, not the past. Okay? 9 times out of 10, that will move the needle and you won't have to have this conversation again. And if you're worried that he's a fuckboy and he's just down to smash, that conversation will illuminate that because he's not going to be interested in the future. Okay? And he's not going to be interested in respect. And therefore, he will keep pushing this issue. And that's going to be tough to see maybe. But it's going to be a lot tougher after you have already shared something very deeply personal and intimate about yourself and he's been a real asshole about it. You're going to see it eventually. Don't you want to see it while still protecting yourself? While maintaining dignity and boundaries? I would. If a boy is a leaver, if he's a disrespectful, misogynistic fuckboy, there is no perfect body count that is going to switch him out of that and into someone who is worthy of your time. So don't give him keys to your house, your credit card, your car, whatever. And don't give him your information either. That belongs to you. It is sacred. It is beautiful. I love my history. I love my past. Are there some things I would change? Sure, but they made me the person you see now. And you know what? I like who I am. And I'm not going to be with someone who doesn't, who makes me feel bad about where I've been. They didn't walk a mile in my shoes. They don't know my life. They don't know my experiences. And I have zero inclination to try to make them understand. I'm not here to convince someone to be around me. I'm not here to convince someone that I'm not a whore. I know that I'm not. If you think I'm such a whore, why on earth are we even here? Why are we having this conversation? Why are you out to dinner with me? If that's what you think of me, I will excuse myself right now and take my history and my secrets with me as I go. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you ask guys the body count? I mean, be honest. Like, are you like, well, I wouldn't want to date a guy who's like X number of people? Do you think that that's fair? And are you okay with judging a man's body count because you think yours is perfect? I think we've learned in this video, it's not. There is no right answer. There's no right answer. Okay? Whether you're a virgin or whether you're like a porn star for the last 25 years, there is no right answer. So just don't even bring it up. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, like I said, try some new fashions with Exo Style Box. First month is free. Swap out styles. You guys can also now check out all the styles I've been wearing and have at home in a little Get My Look section so you can see what I like, the sizes I wear, and head to Insta for some breakdowns of this week's new looks. I'll see you later, Shalligators.